Right. I wonder if you can hear me. Hello, hello. Hey, Dahe.
Hey Alexis.
You're on the other side of the world, right?
Yes, I am.
Beautiful. Can you hear
Yes.
me and see me okay?
Yeah.
See if I can bring this down a little bit. Awesome. Wait, why is it so crooked?
Oh, I thought that was virtual background.
Really?
Oh, yeah, that looks great.
This is the real deal, baby.
Oh, nice. I was hoping you would message Bree back because she asked about the expectation of everyone.
Bree?
So yeah, so I know what to kind of prepare for this Zoom.
This Zoom is to basically see what we need to prepare for. This Zoom is a test run.
Great. All right. I'm
All
glad
right.
I'm here.
So I'm gonna admit everyone, and then we'll get started here.
All right.
Let me put my phone on Do Not Disturb. Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome in. Waiting room is now off. Hey, Carm. How you doing? Good to see you. All right. I'm gonna need somebody to mute. Perfect. Sweet. Thanks everyone for joining. Appreciate you all being here. We are gonna get started in just a few minutes. We got the dream team on the Zoom. Just so you guys know, a couple people here are part of my internal team, one of them being Dahae Yi. Dahae, you're calling in from Korea right now? Is that right? Where are you?
Yep, I am in Korea. It's 2:30 a.m. right now.
Talk about commitment. Talk about commitment. So, Dahae, just give everyone a little bit of, 30, 60 seconds on who you are and what you do, how you can help them make more money, because that's why everyone's here at the end of the day. You guys don't have to lie to me and say, Alexis, we want to hang out with you. You're here because you want to learn how to make money. Let's just be honest. But I'm glad that I can be the facilitator of that education, of that. And so, Dahae, Sharon, who you guys will meet, they are a part of that as well. Dahae, what do you do here at Peach State Capital?
Yes, hi guys. I'm excited to be here, meet you all. I help you investors, real estate investors get successfully funded through Alexis. So I help you guys understand what the process is like, what to expect, so that you can you have the right strategy to get your deals funded.
Love it, love it, love it, love it. Yes, so if anyone's submitting deals, anyone is looking for funding, it is not going to be uncommon or unusual for you to have a phone call or a couple exchanges with Dahae. Good to see you, Dahae. Thanks for joining in the middle of the night. Secondly, I think we have Sharon Chandler on. Sharon is also a part of my team. Sharon, who are you? What do you do here at Peach State Capital? Why would someone need to talk to you?
Mute. First of all, I want to say hi, Dahe. We miss her. I am a capital raiser. I am Alexis 2.0. So I am the one that will be meeting with anyone who
I don't know
wants.
that that's a good thing, Sharon. You got to be careful
I
with that.
think your mother would disagree with you. But I am the one that would you would get on a call with if you wanted to invest in our deals that we have available and help you do that and make your money grow. That's
Love it.
really what I do.
Love it, love it, love it. Thank you, Sharon, for coming on. So, if anyone's looking to actually be a lender, deploy capital with us, it won't be uncommon or unusual for you to have a few conversations or a few exchanges with Sharon Chandler. So, as you guys can see, we have a two-sided marketplace. We talk to a lot of borrowers, we obviously talk to a lot of investors. This Zoom today exists to help you get funded. So, people who are looking to borrow from us, people who are looking to understand what it's like to take money from our team, whether it be, do you lend on this sort of project? What does the interest rate look like? What are the terms? How long will you lend? When do you hold the note yourself? And when do you refer me to someone else? Any and all questions are welcome. But Peach State Capital Group is a asset-based lender, real estate primarily focused on first position loans. And so that's our thesis, that's our strategy, and we're here to answer any questions about that strategy, about what you can get funding on, and here to help. So this Zoom is primarily for informational purposes. There's not necessarily anything for us to present right away. We really want to open it up and do some Q&A. If anyone has a deal that they're looking to get funding on, we can walk through that. If anyone has questions about the process, whether it be the process of submitting a deal, the process of getting a term sheet, or the process post-deal funded, like servicing and payments. Any and all questions are welcome, but there's no prep, right? There's no material that I have to teach you guys today. A lot of times I'll do some educational Zooms as well, but this Zoom primarily is for those of you looking to find borrowers, refer borrowers, be a borrower yourself, and we're here to be a resource for you in any ways. So if you have a question, if you have something on your mind, you have a deal, you can go to the bottom, hit reactions, and raise your hand, and we can rock and roll here. We have about 60 minutes or so. I'm always happy to help and stay on longer, really accessible by email as well. Dahe or Sharon, you guys can feel free to drop your contact information in the side chat as well. And I believe we have Esther, our virtual communications assistant, here to drop in any links if someone needs to submit a deal. A link if someone's interested in being an investor, just put something in the side chat and we'll make sure to take care of you before the end of the Zoom. So without further ado, David, how can we help?
Nice to meet you. We haven't met.
Great
I
to meet
see your
you.
face and content all over, and I'm glad to finally meet face to face.
Love.
I've got a couple questions. One would be on process of uh, submitting application for your loan services. Got a couple of projects we're working on, and but you said your primary focus is first position, correct?
Yeah, so we tend to stay focused on first position loans,
Okay.
especially the ones that we issue in-house. If anyone's looking for second position loans, I do have one or two friends who that's their primary strategy that I'd
Okay.
be happy to refer you out to. And then
Wonderful.
the other area that I've looked at more recently, maybe over the last 6 months, is actually coming in and being a private money partner or an equity partner in deals. Now, I don't do that on single family. Most of those assets are commercial, but that's, secondary to the bread and butter strategy, which is first position loans.
Perfect. And that was going to be my next question was about being a PMP. We're in the fledgling stages of working on taking down an RV park in
Congrats.
Texas. Thank you. And potentially looking for a PMP to service the entire debt because it's under 400K for the park. Um, so if that would at all be something of interest or something we could even discuss at a later time, I don't need to have that be the whole discussion that we do today, but wanting to get
Sure.
that out as we're just getting down this road in this conversation with our team. And that's where my question initially came from too for process. Because if we can be at a place where we do build a relationship with you and your capital team, like that would be an amazing opportunity for us. But also then we want to be able to bring good deals of, especially since as we're looking at RV parks more specifically as an asset class. And then I've got another project of VA transitional housing that we're working on with a different group that would more than likely probably be a conversation with your um, second position lenders, but we could also be looking at a PMP in that position as well. So two conversations I'd love to have at another time, but want to make sure that I got that out and
Yeah.
don't get that missed.
Yeah,
So
no, of course. I'm glad you said something. So, Esther, could you drop in the side chat the link for deal submissions and just so that you understand what happens on the back end, David, after
yeah,
a deal comes to my team. So people usually will email me or send me a message on Facebook saying, "Hey, I have a deal that needs funding." Right after that, we have a set list of criteria that we need to collect about your deal before we know if we can fund it. So I'm always like, "Hey, I'm happy to help, but I need you to send me X, Y, and Z before
of
I
course.
know we can move forward." So that form puts it in a really concise format that makes it easy on you and makes it easy on me to collect the information that I need in order to move forward. So the team will drop that in the side chat, and then you can feel free to submit your details there. Once we have what we need, we move into underwriting. And so we
Perfect.
typically will have a 24-hour turnaround from the time that you submit to when you're hearing back from us on what it is that we can loan on it. If we can do it faster, great. But 24 hours is typically the target and the expectation that we set with borrowers. And then from there, it's up to you, right? Do you want to take the loan? Do you not want to take the loan? Do you want to go back and forth with us? Like,
Of
what are you
course.
looking for? Does it work for you? The
Yeah.
execution of the term sheet will be in balls in your court. And hopefully from there, we can find something that aligns for the both of us. And we move forward to the transaction coordination where we can fund the deal and close it out.
Wonderful. So what was put in the side was
Oh,
15-minute discovery call chat. Is that what you were, or are you looking directly for a submission
yeah. Let
link?
me grab it for you here.
Okay, just to make sure. I appreciate you and your time. This is
Yeah.
very helpful.
Of course, it's really fun for me. You know, I talk to my team every week, and we were talking about the fact that we do a lot of educational Zooms, but we don't do as many Zooms where it's just like, let me tell you about our actual business. You know, like anyone need to like actually get deals funded? Does anyone need to actually invest? A lot of the Zooms that I do are like, here's how to underwrite, here's how to find borrowers, but this is the actual business that we run day to day. So I'm very excited to start this series, which is Funding Fridays, here for people who have a deal they want to get funded, here for people who have questions, etc. So
Excellent.
I just put in the side chat. It's go.peachstatecapital.com/funding request. But if you just want to click that link, bookmark it.
Got it.
That's always how you can get a hold of myself and the rest of the team to submit an
Got
opportunity.
it.
Love it.
Okay. Alexis, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you for coming on. Appreciate you, David. Seems like we'll be working together very soon.
Let's hope so. I would love that.
All right. Alex, I'm in your backyard. How are you?
How are you guys? I know you're in New York, and me as well. So happy to have you here in the Big Apple.
Thank you. I love
Um,
it.
yeah. So one of the questions is, according to to David, are you guys providing loans for RV parks? I know some of the lenders they don't because it's not like, it's pretty much, very respectfully, it's just dirt. And other lenders are like, you know what, we prefer, just to, you know, if you buy the land, so you can develop in the land. So we can, based on the land and whatever development you want to do, so we can lend in on that. Are you guys open to do the RV parks on that?
Yeah, it's a great question. So I'll explain a little bit more about what we love and what we don't necessarily do. The primary focus of Peach State Capital is loans on single family properties. So first position loans to a fix and flipper, a wholesaler. Wholesalers also borrow from us. We do transactional loans as well. When it comes to these commercial assets, I don't turn them away. I'm happy to help facilitate them. In fact, I'm doing an $8 million loan we're on the brink, we're always on the brink of closing these things. The commercial assets take a little bit longer, but I do have partners who I facilitate those loans with. So when it comes to RV parks, multifamily, retail and industrial, warehouse even, most of our investors are coming in with 100 to 500,000. If you need a loan for 5 million, 8 million, 10 million, I would rather connect you to one partner who can take that out completely rather than, try to raise that capital investor by investor. So the short answer is I don't originate and hold the note on those properties, but I can help connect you to the right parties. And I have done so before. So I'm happy to help with RV parks, with multifamily, all those different types of commercial loans or bigger properties. We can help facilitate those as well.
All right. The other question, thank you. And the other question is, for the fix and flip, what is the percentage that you can allocate for the fix and flip? It's going to be like, I don't know, 70%, 90% of the purchase price and 100% of the rental, or what is the percentage on that?
Such a good question. So when it comes to what we can loan, we have worked with, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Okay,
Yes.
perfect. Zoom just closed on me for some reason. Looks like my camera might be a little bit fuzzy. Let me see if I can change this here.
We can see you fine.
Okay, cool. Thank you for that input. When it comes to what we can loan, first-time borrowers, we will always require a 10% skin in the game. So even if they're stealing the property, it's worth 200,000 and they're buying it for 70 grand. Even if it's a no-brainer deal, if it's my first time working with you, I want to see that you have skin in the game. So 90% loan to cost on purchase price. Once I've seen that you can perform, that you have a track record, that there's some relationship there, I'm happy to fund deals at 100% of purchase price if, of course, the numbers pencil out and make sense. Now, when it comes to, that's as is value. Purchase price is typically what is the value today. When it comes to ARV, what the property is going to be worth when it's fixed up, and we are typically finishing out and maxing out around 70% of ARV. I have some loans inch past at 71 and 72, but absolutely never going past 75% of ARV. So when we look at if a property is worth 300,000 after it's all fixed up, 75% of that is 225. So my loan to you on purchase and rehab will need to be under that 225 mark. Does that make sense, Alex?
Yep. Okay.
Perfect.
Any estates?
Any what now?
And in this any estates that you can provide the lending? Because again, I know in New York they have like crazy sometimes they have like those crazy regulations and all that. So I just want to make sure.
Yeah, this comes back to the question about the commercial loans is like, where do I hold paper? We hold paper in Georgia. And by hold paper, what does hold paper even mean? Hold paper means, am I brokering this loan? Am I just connecting you to someone and, bridging the relationship? Or am I the actual lender who holds the note, who owns this lien from the moment we originate to the moment we pay off? That's what holding the paper means. And so I hold paper on some loans and I broker and work with my relationships on others. Where do I hold paper? Georgia, North Carolina, Texas, and Virginia. Now, if you send me a loan in New York, I can help you because one of my best friends, Eugene Nillis, he for some reason, this guy's insane. We really need to go and check on him because he loans in California and New York more than anyone that I know. So he's a great resource that I'd be happy to introduce you to, but I don't hold paper outside of these 4 states, mainly because of like foreclosure law, and I'm just not interested. It's a pain in the butt if anything happens. But other states, we're happy to help. It's just you're gonna be working with my team from origination to payoff in those 4 states on first position loans.
Got it. Great. Okay. I have some of them right now in the pipeline, and as David, I just want to be, and I want to get also like some information for the second lien position. As so part of the SOP 2 So we cannot take, you cannot take, the first position because it's already a sub two. There's already a bank, already in place. So,
Yeah.
and we just, we try to look it up for like gap lending. So probably, if it's a second position, that will be, something that if you know somebody who can just like close that gap, I'll really, really, really appreciate it too.
I mean, this is like what everyone's looking for, right? I'm buying a sub two and I need 20, 25K to close. But the problem that I see, just to give you some insight into why I don't do it, why I don't lend on those sort of things, is not because they're bad deals. You have a lot of sub two deals that are great, phenomenal properties, but my loans are short. They're 6 months, they're maybe 9 months, maybe on the long end, 12 months. And when you're buying a sub two, you're buying it to hold. And the last thing you want to do on a sub two is refinance it. That's why you got into the property sub two. So if anyone's funding those deals, they need to be drawing up a minimum of a 3-year note for it to even make sense for that borrower or that operator. So I haven't gone deep into that strategy for that reason.
Okay. But you can do, let's say, like 6 months on it.
Well, I wouldn't do this.
No, I know you don't, but somebody else, yes.
Well, here's the problem. At month 6, how are you going to pay them off? The property either has equity and then you have to sell it, or you're refinancing, or you're getting a second mortgage. Like, it's just, the interest of the two parties are not aligned. If someone's drawing you up a 6-month note, the reason a 6-month note works in a fix and flip is because a fix and flip shouldn't take longer than 6 months. But if we're buying a property to buy and hold and have in our portfolio, you don't want to be messing with the debt on that property within 6 months of the acquisition. It's like, It just doesn't make sense.
I mean, I have, in the other hand, so I have my construction business, and, we do some fix and flips in here. And the thing is, we do fix and flips in New York because of the blue state. So we don't want to like hold them off anything here. So we just invest in out of state. So that's why. So we just take the those fix and flips money and just like put the money towards those sub two deals out of a state. So let's say sometimes, we are in the middle of the fix and flip, and in the moment when these properties it gets sell or sold, so we can get that money, pay the lender, and so we have like 100% control of the asset.
I love it. We have to meet up for coffee or something.
Oh my gosh, I'm loving it. So, I'm here, again, I'm here to help and I'm here to be helped also. But thank you for your time again.
Yeah, thanks. Good to see you, Alex. All right. Any other questions? I saw someone had their hand raised just a second ago. Let's see in the side chat. Do you have any referrals for New Jersey and Ohio? Yeah, absolutely. The thing about the referrals is that they're oftentimes looking for an actual opportunity. So the best thing that you can do is either email me or submit, because when I bridge these relationships, they want to be able to move on something in a way. They want to be able to close on something. So Ashley, we're happy to help. Do we have referrals in New Jersey and Ohio? Absolutely, yes. Would love to know kind of the details on what you're looking for. What LTV might we expect on a 2 to 4 family purchase? So 2 to 4 family is obviously different than a single family, but it's not quite multifamily yet. It's classified as small multifamily. When I think about multifamily, I'm thinking about a minimum of 10 to 12 units. And then multifamily goes as high as 500 units. You see developments that are 1,000 units. So I don't touch those internally. I don't hold the paper on those. LTV on a 2 to 4 unit family, 2 to 4 multifamily unit, I'm still going to be under 75% of that total value. So that principal, and you guys will find this, like a lot of the things that we do at Peach State Capital is driven by principles. First position, checking in with the borrower monthly, whether that be by collecting a payment or just having a very clear check-in if they have a balloon. Our loan to values are not up to negotiation. The rule that we have on first time borrowers, 10%, skin in the game. Those are our principles. So on a 2 to 4 unit multifamily, is still going to be under that 75% max ARV. All right. And if you guys have questions, I'd love to have a conversation. You know, if you're available, raise your hand, chat. And that helps me too, because I might not be understanding your question correctly in its written format. It'd be great to hear and make sure I understand it correctly. So I'll get to some of them in the chat. Since Xavier has his hand raised, we'll jump here real fast. Xavier, how can we help? You're muted. Good to see you though.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. How are you?
Pretty good. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So I did exactly what you said. I inboxed you like, hey, got a deal. I should send you pictures and
Yeah.
perform, but I never got a response. So I figured
On Facebook?
Yeah, on Facebook. So
You know, I have to, let me just pause you right here. I have to own this. I have been terrible at responding to my Facebook messages, but I never have any problems in my life that I don't find solutions for. And we just brought on, within the last 2 weeks, Esther. I don't know if she's here right now. Well, Bree, I'm gonna highlight you first because you helped me hire Esther. But I would love for you to speak to, you know, what's going on with my Facebook messages right now, because I haven't seen them.
Xavier, I would say that you're not alone.
This is so bad. I'm sorry.
Esther reached out to me yesterday, actually. So
there we go.
I was just gonna. That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say. I see you're finally tackling.
After many months of neglect. CJ Adams just put in the side chat. He said, "I learned to just email and give an Instagram heads up." Yeah, I'm really historically from this up until this point, I've been terrible at it. But Xavier, again, I'm sorry that you had that experience, and
no worries.
Actively working on solving that issue.
Yeah, no, it actually worked out with this property. So I'm in a property where I moved to Dallas. So I just learned I'm in the right state to work with you.
Love it.
This property, I'm house hacking, so I'm just like finding properties. I wanted to move here. I was born in Fort Worth, grew up in Connecticut, always wanted to come back. So it was like I just found this property to get here, find the next property, move out. We're gonna rent this out, turn this into either co-living, which it cash flows very well, 15% COC as a co-living. But then I'm really looking more into doing the independent living. So I wanted to see if that was something that you're involved in.
Yeah.
And then also the way that I'm finding these properties, like I got into this property, no money down. I just got another property, no money down. But it would be beneficial. I could get a private money partner to come in with the money that I need to do some of the fixing. And so it's not really a fixing flip, even though I could get a fix and flip loan. This property is actually going into foreclosure. I just stopped it from going into foreclosure. I just stopped the auction actually. And so I just got third party authorization to negotiate on behalf of the owner. And so I'm finding deals where owners are in distress, losing their properties, and they either have no equity. This one actually has a lot of equity, but typically the deals probably won't have a lot of equity. The other property in Carrollton has about $30,000 in equity, but the current owners don't want to pay anymore, right? This was a fix and flip gone wrong. The guy maxed out his credit cards and he went into foreclosure. So I came in to take over. I know how to stop foreclosures. And so that's kind of where I'm leveraging my skill set and getting into the deal. And so with this particular deal here, once I negotiate, I think they're in the 240 price range, is what he owes, and he's obviously paid something. So it's a hard money lender, non-recourse loan. So I can't assume the loan, but I need to buy it fast. And so right now a DSCR wouldn't work.
Too slow.
That's probably like a 30-day time frame. We're probably only going to have about a few weeks once the foreclosure process is no longer keeping them from closing and going back to auction. So I really need a faster loan. So I was looking at getting a fix and flip loan, but I was wondering if I could bridge to something else with you if I.
Yeah. This is like a perfect scenario. And first and foremost, like, congratulations. You're obviously out there crushing it, hustling, helping homeowners. I have such a soft spot in my heart for foreclosures because that's how I got started too, and now I'm on the lending side and I'm like having to foreclose on people. I'm like, this is just a weird area to be in. But
Yeah.
super, super happy to hear that things are going well inside your business. Yeah, I'm happy to help. Like that's what we do. We do fast loans. I mean, Sharon Chandler can tell you it's not the most fun when you get something on your desk on Friday that needs to be funded Monday, but we have done that before. And if you're looking for something, the better the heads up you give us, that's great. We can for sure get something closed for you. So my advice to you would be go ahead and submit to the form, like as much details as you have on that particular deal. And we can get you out a term sheet with a tentative close date so that whenever you do figure out, okay, this is no longer going to foreclosure, we're right there and ready to close for you.
Okay, yeah. So what I was asking is, am I able to? So I don't have the 10% that will be needed for the 240. Even if I got it to 240, the house is worth 380. So I was looking at the other situation scenario that you said you wouldn't do on the first time, which is basically having the hard money lender give me the funds I need, which would actually give me some money back at closing, right? Because the owner is going to hold a note. I'm doing the whole, stack method. And so essentially that's what I'm trying to do to get the property. And I have a lender who can close in 48 hours. So there's no issue there. What I was asking is if I could bridge to something with you once I close, because that lender wouldn't, it's a no doc loan. He doesn't require me to have nothing down. So
That's great. So help me understand what you mean by bridge. Help me understand what you're trying to accomplish there.
yeah, so once I'm done with the fixing up of the renovations that needs to be done here, I want to get out of the fix and flip
You need a
immediately.
long-term loan?
Yeah.
Perfect. So someone I want to highlight that's here is Carmelita Keith. She is going to be your plug-in for these long-term DSCR loans. You can put your email in the side chat, Carmelita. And, honestly, I don't call her Carmelita. This is my mom, but for the sake of the Zoom, I'll call her Carmelita. She's a rock star. She's closed several loans thus far. And she's actually the one who deals with all the long-term debt and getting you into something that you can hold this in your portfolio. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And would that be based off the independent living or co-living? I was trying to figure that out so I could be informed into my strategy going into, the loan.
So my understanding of how DSCR loans work is that it's based off of the income that the property produces.
Absolutely.
You would just need,
Right.
Xavier, my advice to you would be to make sure you have your docs and research to justify the rent rate that you are claiming the property can make.
Yeah, so that's exactly why I'm asking, because the debt service ratio is normally based off the market rate of the rentals in the neighborhood, which it wouldn't cash flow as that, but as an independent living, it obviously cash flows 4 times more than it would as a regular rental.
Sure. So Carmelita, I'll let you take that. Is there creative options to showcase DSCR lenders that, we're not going to do a regular rental here?
So if you already have, if you have the docs that show that you are collecting more rent than what the market rate is, then we can go with that as for the ratio. If you haven't done that yet, but you have docs to show where that additional income is typically consistent with the model that you are using, then we can also use that.
Okay, so it doesn't have to be seasoned, or it wouldn't need a certain amount of time before we can close.
No.
Perfect.
No. Not if you have the docs, no.
Perfect. So that covers that. On the other side, I wanted to ask you, Alexis, if you can break down some of the transactional lending requirements that you have.
Yeah, so I have a transactional loan today for $223,000. My requirements are: what is the address, when is the close of escrow, and who's the title company. The only other thing that I check is that A, B, and BC are closing on the same day. I don't need to underwrite. I don't need to do all these, 2-day, 3-day processes. I don't need an inspection, whereas on the private money loans, of course, I need an inspection. I need to go out and see the property. On transactional loans, I can do those same day. I can do those next day. Very, very simple and easy process. And it's the same form, by the way. Same form you'd submit there. And it's just, it's way less details that we request. because they're pretty easy to get off the ground.
Okay, and do you require, could it be a first time deal? Because
Yeah, yeah.
in
First time, I'll fund 100% always. On a Morby method, which is it has like a seller finance carry that needs to go in and out of escrow. And then on transactional loans, which are double closes, I will fund 100%. No cash needed from the borrower. And
so
those are
you
one
only
day
do double
transactions.
closes?
No,
What's your
so what do you mean by transactional? How about that? You can give me some.
Yeah, so actually, yeah, I do know that it could be a wide range. I was actually speaking broadly about everything from EMD to down payment to closing costs to whatever,
Yeah. So EMD, I don't do myself. I have a really good friend who does them. I'm happy to make an intro for you if you want.
Okay.
Closing cost loans, I haven't done before. The only time that I'm covering closing costs is when it's a double close, right?
Oh.
So when I'm doing a double close, which in my mind I've kind of classified inside of the transactional lending folder, I'll cover the purchase price, the closing costs, any fees. I'll cover 100% of whatever's needed cash to close from that borrower. But transactional, I think we have to make sure we have the same definition of it, because it sounds like what you're looking for might be like a bridge loan where you're needing a loan for like a week or two or something.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess that is the difference. And I do confuse the terms sometimes. I guess it would be more of a bridge. So you don't do bridge loans.
I'll do them, but I still
Oh.
have some of those same requirements. Like I need you to show skin in the game. I need to do an inspection, because at the end of the day, a bridge loan is just a really short PML. It's like I have to go through the same due diligence processes as if I'm going to loan on this for 6 months or 12 months, the same way that I would go through due diligence if I'm going to loan on it for a week. We still need insurance, for example. Like whenever a legitimate closing happens where money is leaving escrow and I'm going to have a lien against the property, it doesn't matter to me whether the lien against that property is for 2 days or 2 months or 2 years. The due diligence looks the same when it comes to paperwork.
Okay. So on a deal like this where I have a hard money lender, he's willing to give me up to 95%. I only need to bring 5% to close. Do you consider that? What would you consider that for the down payment? Is that the bridge or is that transactional to you?
No, that's a bridge loan. That's a typical PML loan. And those are great terms, by the way. If you're a first-time borrower and
Yeah.
you get into a deal with 5%, I think you should work with that guy all day.
Yeah, so the thing is that it's only because it covers the amount that it covers the purchase price is under the ARV, whatever the LTV is on that. And so what I was looking to do is get cash back at closing, like I was saying. But essentially, yeah, I'm really focused on deals like that where I'm really either getting paid to acquire the property or I don't have to bring any money to the table. So
Yeah,
if
absolutely.
if that's something that we can do, I look forward to making money with you. I'll submit the deal, and then if you can also give me the second position lender, I got a couple deals like that I can close on right now as well. But
Beautiful.
it's like finding the needle in a haystack for second position. So.
Yeah, it's very, very few and far in between. Yeah, submit the property. Worst case scenario, we look at it, we can't help you. Best case scenario, we can help you and we can be competitive. But we won't know until we have a look at the actual opportunity.
Sounds great. I'll get on that as soon as possible. But yeah, I appreciate your time and thank you for doing this.
Yeah, of course. Good to meet you. All right. Nikki, hi. How are you?
Hi, I'm Nikki. I'm from New Jersey. I was wondering if you are working with any lender that lend on the small business loan at all?
So I have a really good lender in my back pocket. Maybe I'll drop their email if I can find it really easily. They're lending specifically on business acquisition loans. So not like an already operating business that needs capital. I have another lender that does that, but this group particularly that I've worked with before that I actually have had experiences with, and I've invested with them actually. They are helping operators buy small businesses. Is that what you're looking for?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm looking for. I'm looking to acquire, small business like laundromat and,
Yeah.
looking to get some loan for the purchase price.
Beautiful. So I'm gonna drop in the side chat Everbridge. Let me see if I can find their email.
I heard of Everbridge. I actually went to one of their presentation.
Have you had a conversation with their team?
No, I have not.
I would recommend it. I don't know that they're gonna go as small as laundromats. If they won't, let me know. I'm happy to send you someone else. But that's my knee-jerk reaction is like, I know that they do this. And I've seen them close, I've seen them perform. So I would have the first conversation with them. Definitely ask them the same thing, like who else do you know? But if they can't help you, just circle back and I don't know, I'm happy to send you in a couple different places.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, of course. Business loans are so fun. Love it. Love to see it. Elle, good to see you. How are you? It's been so long.
Well, not so long. We've been exchanging some email lately, if you remember.
I remember. So Elle emailed me for double close, and we're like all the way down. We're talking to title, and I'm like, Elle, I don't know. Something about this feels funky. Let me just try to verify the wire instructions. And so I call, and like the number that I call is like, no, we don't have that transaction. And then someone calls me, and they're like, hey, I'm calling you to verify wire instructions. And I'm like, whoa, huge red flag. Why are you calling me to verify wire instructions? I need to call you. So we didn't end up moving forward on that one because of lack of credibility.
Unfortunately, we did not.
Okay,
Okay, but it's nice to see you. So I have a question for you. Anyone who doesn't know me, my question will be because I'm a loan consultant, so I need to know from Alexis to bring her deals. So what is, I heard you briefly mentioning for those first position. I didn't know you do those, so I'm really excited.
Yeah.
You said you don't do an appraisal, but you do an inspection. Is that correct? What kind of inspection?
Yeah, I'll have a licensed inspector go out there and get insight on what's the condition of the foundation, what's the condition of the structure, the roof, windows, electrical, plumbing. We make sure to check all that stuff before we issue a loan.
So it's kind of like an appraisal, right?
No, it's not an appraisal. An appraisal is going to show me. Yeah, an appraisal is going to show me the comps in the neighborhood. Someone's basically telling me what it's worth. I don't need someone to tell me what it's worth in most cases. I need someone to be boots on the ground and see things that are not in the because borrowers will take photos and show you the best angle of the frame.
Of course.
They won't show you like the crack in the wall. They'll make sure to scoot the frame over so that you don't see that, So that's why I send them.
Okay. Yeah. Super great. Okay. Then I have some questions about the borrower. Actually, I saw Lydia drop a question earlier about hey, Lydia, also about the credit score. Do you care about the credit score?
No, I don't care about credit score. I have a good credit score, but
no,
I don't care. No, I don't care about the borrower's credit score. No.
Okay. So no credit score. What about their experience?
Their experience is important. There's no like hardcore cutoff. Like I've worked with people with no experience, but the experience is a sliding scale for me. So if they have more experience, I'm more willing to give them a higher rehab budget. For example, I'm really not a fan of first-time flippers doing 100K rehab or doing 150K rehab. There's just so much that needs to be done, and therefore so much that can go wrong. So their experience to me does matter. It's not a deal breaker for me, but it is definitely something that we evaluate.
Okay. And then I think I have two more questions. One is about the points. Do you take points?
Yes. So we have half a point origination, and then I think it's a $500 or $700. I don't know. I haven't written a term sheet in a while, but I think it's a $500 or $700 underwriting fee. So those are the fees that borrowers will incur up front. And then obviously the annualized rate is typically somewhere between 15 and 20%.
Okay, so that was the next question. So when you say first for the fees upfront, you mean at closing, right?
Correct.
At closing, but okay, so the rate is like a regular PML rate. It's not a hard money loan rate, right?
Correct. I don't do any loans, but like I don't think I've done a loan at 10% or 12% ever.
Yeah.
Most of my loans have that sort of white glove, you get what you pay for. This is a private money shop, and we won't go below 15% usually.
So it's between 15 and 20, right?
Yes.
And what's the longest you lend?
12 months will be the longest note that I'll write.
What did you say, 5?
12 months is the longest.
12. Oh, that's great. So you can go up to 12 months. And the 20%, is it flat fee then?
No, I don't do flat fees.
Okay.
The rate increases when there's more risk. So like we did a loan recently where the borrower had all their payments accrue, meaning they pay at the end. And so for that loan, I feel less secure than if they were making monthly payments. And so that risk needs to be worth some reward. And so on that loan, the interest rate was higher.
Got it. But it's not flat fee, so it's annualized, right?
Yeah, I don't do many flat fee loans. If someone offers it to me, maybe I'll consider it. Like again, I'm not like I'm not like this is it and this is very fluid, and I'm open-minded. So if someone presents me a flat fee, I'll look at it, but just candidly, like most of my loans have monthly payments. Most of them operate on an annualized basis and go from there.
And they're monthly payment, just so you just said it. Okay. I think that's it for now.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Al.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to see you.
Good to see you too. All right, CJ, good to see you. What's up? CJ, I got to tell you, I'm in New York. I think Washington D.C. is going to take the back seat this time around. I'm starting to love it here.
Have you been hanging out with Kevin Cho out there at any point?
Yep, I had lunch with Kevin like a week ago. I'm here for like 2.5 weeks, so we've been hanging out every now and then.
That's pretty cool. Well, long time no see.
Yeah, it is.
One of my questions, or outside of the experience and the metrics whenever you're underwriting the deals, what are some of the relational factors that you guys keep in mind when you're determining if you're going to pass or maybe work with someone?
Well, the first thing is always the deal itself. Like if the deal doesn't pencil, it's an automatic no.
Right.
Outside of that, there's very few things that actually kill a deal for me. We've had people who are like just a pain in the ass before that we can't communicate with, that we can't get a hold of. We even had one deal recently where the guy accepted the loan, he accepted the term sheet, and then it was so hard to get a hold of him to actually close. Like, bro, we need to move this forward. So I'll tell you, those things don't necessarily kill deals for us, but they are certainly red flags. Like if I can't get a hold of this guy before I issue him the loan, I can't even imagine what it's like trying to get a hold of him when he owes me money,
Right.
So it's something that we take with a grain of salt and things that we consider. But again, like you said, it's all sort of subjective and relational. So none of them are like absolute deal killers. It's just collecting data on how do we need to prepare for this relationship so that this deal goes successfully. So communication skills are a big part of that. I would say communication skills is probably 60 or 70% of like what else we consider. Do they communicate effectively when we're talking on the phone? How fast do they respond? Can we get a hold of them if we need to get a hold of them? Do they communicate clearly? Like, are they talking for 5 minutes and they literally are saying nothing? Or are they pretty succinct and like we understand that we're on the same page? So communication skills are huge. Outside of that, the other thing that we'll look for is their relationships. So who's your GC? What licenses do you hold? Who's your realtor? We want to know that the person that we're lending money to has strong relationships to get the project done and get it done, not just the first time, not just the second time, but dealing with problems on their third or fourth or fifth project. Because we do all of our lending on relationships, right? We want to help someone grow. We want to help them scale with funding. And so one thing I noticed in my, like the past 3 years lending is like, you can throw a lot of money at someone, but the money is not the only thing that solves the problem. Like they need a lot of other infrastructure pieces. in order to have their business, their fix and flip business or their real estate business be successful. So I'd say those are the first two things that come to mind for sure.
Okay, really good to know. That's pretty much it. Everyone else had really great questions. They kind of stole a couple of them before I got a chance to ask myself. So yeah, that's it. Thank you. Of
No worries. Thank you for coming on.
course.
All right. All right. Any other questions? This was really fun. Again, we will be doing this every Friday if possible. You know, if there's something that comes up, then I'll definitely shoot everyone a message that we'll be moving into the next Friday. But we'll be doing this pretty often. Fridays, Funding Fridays, 1:30 Eastern time, for you to come on, share your deals, ask questions about the process, get information on how to get funded, what we fund, etc. And so if you ever have a question, you can shoot us a message. You know, we're here to help. Xavier, I see you got your hand up. What's happening? Oh, you're muted.
I said, sorry, I knew it was a few things I forgot. So real quick, do you also lend on land acquisition?
Good question. So I have lent on land before. It's not something that I advertise. I think for me, in order for me to lend on land, it really depends on what's going to be done with it. Like, what's the exit strategy? Is someone developing? Are they wholesaling land? And then the second thing that it would depend on is who's the operator, right? Like, do they have, like I was just telling you, do they have the relationships to dispo or get rid of this land in the event they need to? I'm not opposed to lending on land. I just don't. It's like if I had 100 loans, maybe one or two of them are pieces of land. It's not my main strategy.
Okay, great. And then on the other deal, I know you said there was a conflict when there's a sub two, but in the event where I'm taking on a deal, I'm actually doing something very unconventional where I'm taking a property that, like I said, has only $30,000 in equity. The interest is higher than what it typically would be, but since I'm doing independent living and renting not by the room but by the bed, it's a whole different game plan. So I could take on stuff that's more riskier, and there's a plethora of these deals out there because nobody's looking for them, and these landowners don't know what to do with them. So I really feel like it's a blue ocean strategy for me. I'm not as risk adverse. Like my parents lost everything in the recession in 2008. So I'm just like, I'm coming for everything that we lost, and I'm looking to acquire these properties that I have like probably 15 just sitting, but people don't do these deals. So I was wondering if I just wanted to get your thoughts on if a deal makes sense where I am going into the sub two deal with the intentions on refinancing because it's at 7%. And then also it's going to cash flow with a model that is kind of guaranteed because I'm only dealing with individuals who have SSI, SSDI. So it's obviously a nice influx of people who are being referred by the state, by all these different homeless shelters, different people. So there's no problem with the demand there. Is that something you would consider if it's cash flowing and I am trying to get out of it in 6 months and I could pay it off? Honestly, we could pay it off from the income, not just off the refinance. So is that something that you would consider or someone you know may consider?
So if it's long-term debt, I won't be your gal. You know, long-term debt meaning like you need a 30-year mortgage, it'll be out of my wheelhouse. But if you need a bridge loan and you can show me that the income from your property can cover the interest payments, then absolutely, I'm happy to help. Just just stay cognizant of the fact that the debt that I issue is going to be 6 to 12 months. So if you're looking for something really long-term, then I'm happy to point you in the right direction. But me, myself, my own company, we won't be the one holding that note for you.
Yeah, no, I'm looking for very short term. I'm really only looking, honestly, since I'm not paying anything up front, I'm only really looking for closing costs and to furnish the place.
Yeah. So, okay. So you're talking about if you are buying a sub two or seller finance, you need second position funding or partner.
Yeah, like 20,000, 25. I mean, it's
Yeah. So here's what I would do if I were you.
There's 30,000 equity and I need like 20 grand to get it up and going.
Yeah. Here's what I would do if I were you. I would close one project, whether it be with your own money or maybe like friends and family money. You need to get one done and you need to be able to like showcase that entire process. The best thing that you can do is document, because what you're looking for right now, it takes a lot of trust. I mean, as a lender, 100% LTV is like, it's never going to happen. Like, it's not something that any lender is interested in loaning to a stranger. The type of money that you're looking for is money that trusts you to get the job done. And the only way that people can trust you very quickly without spending like a year of knowing you is if you can say, here's what I've done. No one can dispute like your facts and your projects and like what's actually been completed. So on one or two or the first three, I would focus really, really heavily on documenting what it is that you're doing, whether it's videos, written, or some sort of like updating online. I would compile that information, and then I would go hard on networking and say, I'm looking for people who want to put money to work so that you can start to raise your own capital and send them to that data room, send them to that YouTube channel, send them to that Facebook page where they can see you performed on your last three projects. That's going to go a really long way.
Thank you so much. That's invaluable information.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see it. Drop your socials in the side chat. I will definitely follow along.
Okay, we'll do.
Sweet. All right, Ashley, probably last one here.
Hey, so real quick, so being from what you just told him, it kind of sparked the idea in my head, which I've been thinking about. So you're really heavy on social media content, things like that. What do lenders want to see from investors on social media? Like, how can I, because just being honest and transparent, I wouldn't have multiple, like I want to lock in and have someone that I can start out with and build a relationship with on LinkedIn, but I want to have a plethora of people that are eager to
give you
be
money.
A part of what I have going on. And how can I attract the lenders from my content? Like what tips do you have? What do they want to see?
Yeah, people want to see that you're making money. That's what they want to see. That's it. Like there's no secret sauce. And I was telling a friend this yesterday. By the way, this is a quick deviation. This friend called me like probably a year ago, was asking me a lot of questions about lending. I gave him advice. He calls me a couple days ago. He did some bad loans. He didn't take my advice. And now he's in a bad situation. I give advice because I have touched hot stoves. Right. I never talk about things that I don't know. I will straight up tell you, I don't know. So if I'm giving you advice, I'm just telling you, I'm giving you that advice because I've had a personal experience and it has worked. So my advice to you, Ashley, is truly people want to see that you're making money. So the more that you can show that, the better. If you guys go to my Instagram, the middle deck, the middle carousel is me sending out $84,000 in interest payments. That's proof of concept. And maybe you don't have that, but you could show your last wholesale deal. You could show your last property. Right. You could show something. People need to see that you're making money. The second piece of advice that I have is that there's just no secret sauce. There's no secret sauce. There's no secrets. You have to be consistent in your posting. And then when people comment, when they like, when they engage, you need to follow up. Like any business model, when someone comments on your post, my team reaches out. We go and DM them. Like Sharon will tell you, this is probably the least fun thing we could ever do, but it's the thing that works. Because after they like the post, after they comment, then we reach out, we go back and forth via DM, and then we get them on a call, and then a call goes to the next call, and then they become an investor. But people are not going to watch a video one time and say, I have 300,000 for you. You have to be very consistent. Right. Be very intentional, and you have to consistently showcase that you are actively involved in the business and you are actively creating success for yourself and for other people. That would be my two main things to focus on.
Yeah, so one real quick thing. So and maybe I'm in my head about it, but I have a story that I've always wanted to share as far as trying to get into this space and where I come from and what I've been through, right? I never wanted to actually feel that way, but I don't want to shy away from my story because it may not be as pretty to people as far as what they can trust me with. You understand what I'm saying? So I've grown from my mistakes and my story. I want to share that for the people that are coming from where I'm coming from, to show them that there's another way. You understand what I'm saying? I don't want to shoot myself in the foot at the same time.
You know, you're bringing up a really good point right now, which is when you have other people's money involved, you have to be very cognizant of what
Right.
you're putting online. And so, like, there are things that happen in my life that, you know, you just can't share in the moment. It sounds like for you, you've overcome these things. Perfect. This is the perfect time to highlight them and share them. And so just making sure you set that frame in your social media when you're on there is like, let me tell you a story about how I overcame blank. Let me tell you a story about how I just making sure that the audience understands that this is something that's in the past and something that you've actually overcame.
Okay.
And it gives you a lot more credibility too. Like, let me pass down my lessons so that you don't have to lose 100 grand, so that you don't have to waste 5 years. Like that, people really appreciate those tidbits also.
Okay. Thank you so much. I'm like in the middle of, I want to attract lenders, but I also want to attract sellers,
Yeah,
you know? So
of
I'm
course.
like, yeah, thank you so much.
Of course. All right. Wow, an hour goes by fast when you're having fun. Thank you all so much for being here. Again, if you need anything, my personal email is alexis@Peach State Capital. Happy to help with any resources, any questions, anything that's needed ever. This is like my whole story since I started. Like, how can I help you? Always on a Zoom, which is really exciting for me to be back in this environment. I haven't hosted a Zoom in a really long time. So I appreciate each and every one of you that joined today. Again, we'll be doing this every Friday, 1:30 Eastern, Funding Fridays. Maybe sometimes I'll even come and talk about some of the deals that we're closing on our end for borrowers. That would be a cool variation to put in. Bree's a fan of that. She's like, absolutely. All right, cool. Thank you all. I will see you next week. Have a fantastic weekend. Bye-bye.